Imagine waking up every day feeling motivated and in control, finally able to follow through on your commitments. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. It's actually easier than you think. Of course, I'm talking about self discipline.
You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Let me tell you, I used to be the king of procrastination, always promising myself I'd start fresh tomorrow. Does that sound familiar? I was constantly caught in a cycle of setting ambitious goals and then watching them slip away because I just couldn't stick to a plan.
You're nothing of discipline.
It was frustrating and honestly pretty disheartening. But then something clicked. I stumbled upon a few simple strategies that completely transformed my approach to discipline. And today I'm going to share the exact steps that helped me go from a perpetual procrastinator to someone who actually gets things done. No more broken promises or feeling stuck. Just practical, relatable steps to help you achieve your goals and become the disciplined person you've always wanted to be. Let's dive in. As Plato said, the first and best victory is to conquer self. And honestly, that's what's helped me too. I'm sure you've heard everyone say self discipline is a cornerstone of leading yourself and others effectively. It's the secret sauce behind happiness, success, and fulfillment. But how does it actually begin? How do you become a better version of yourself? How do you become self disciplined? Think about it. Everything you want in life, from achieving career milestones to personal fitness goals, hinges on your ability to stay focused and exercise self control. Sure, it's hard to believe when you're eyeing that tempting all you can eat buffet, considering a quick money making scheme, or debating between sleeping in and hitting the gym. But studies consistently show that people with self discipline are happier. Why? Because discipline helps us bridge the gap between defining our goals and actually achieving them. Why self discipline is difficult. Now, here's the part where you're stuck. You think self discipline is tough. But, a big but, it's not. And I'm going to explain it to you in simpler terms. You see, self discipline is all about controlling your impulses and staying committed to your goals, even when no one is watching. On the surface, this sounds extremely tough, especially in a world filled with distractions. Social media, instant gratification, and the constant lure of convenience all make it seem like self discipline is an uphill battle. But here's the thing, it's not as difficult as it seems. I used to be a person who struggled with self discipline. I'd set a goal to wake up early and exercise, but when the alarm went off, my bed seemed like the most comfortable place on earth. I'd promised myself I'd work on my side project after work, only to end up binge watching YouTube channels and Netflix instead. I was stuck in a cycle of intentions and disappointments, feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. Then I started breaking it down. Instead of seeing self discipline as this massive, insurmountable task, I began to approach it step by step. But before I tell you those secret steps, I'm going to explain 4 big reasons why you think self discipline is difficult. And I'm going to tell you my own story side by side as well. Reason 1, self discipline is difficult due to the resistance you experience. Okay, so imagine you're a character in a video game, and you control every action with the press of a button. If you wanted your video game self to accomplish a goal, you'd simply click, and it would be done. In real life, though, getting yourself to do things is so much harder. The reason lies in the resistance you face, which your video game self doesn't have to deal with. This resistance comes in many forms: pain, effort, stress, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, lack of energy, and lack of confidence. These negative physical, mental, and emotional sensations can be incredibly tough obstacles. For example, I remember trying to start a regular exercise routine with calisthenics. At first, the thought of waking up early and putting in the effort felt almost insurmountable. The physical discomfort of push ups and pull ups and the mental hurdle of pushing myself out of bed were significant barriers. But over time, I realized that acknowledging this resistance was the first step. I started small, doing just a few reps each morning, and gradually built up my routine. Eventually, the resistance diminished and calisthenics became a habit I looked forward to. Reason 2, the problem of present bias makes self-discipline challenging. Another challenge is the problem of present bias, a well-documented phenomenon where we prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits. Our present self doesn't like the idea of doing hard work now just so our future self can reap the rewards. This makes self-discipline especially tricky because it often involves sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term gains. I used to struggle with this a lot. For instance, I knew that spending time on my side projects would benefit me in the long run. But after a long day at work, all I wanted was to relax. The idea of trading my evening relaxation for future benefits felt like a bad deal. What helped me overcome this was learning to delay gratification in small, manageable ways. Instead of committing all my free time to work, I started with just 15 minutes a day. This made the sacrifice feel less daunting and gradually build up my ability to focus on long-term goals. Reason 3. Self-discipline is difficult because habits are tough to develop. Our lives are made up of countless habits we've accumulated over the years. Once a habit is formed, it requires little conscious effort to maintain. However, adopting new habits can be incredibly difficult. Take exercising, for example. For some people, it's already a habit, and they do it without a second thought. But for those who haven't developed this habit, it's a real challenge to rewire their brain to include regular workouts. I vividly remember trying to make exercise a part of my daily routine with calisthenics. Initially, it was tough. I had to force myself to do those push-ups, pull-ups, and squats, and every session felt like a monumental effort. But I started small, committing to just 10 minutes of calisthenics each day. Gradually, as I pushed past the initial resistance, it became easier. Eventually, it turned into a routine that I actually looked forward to. The key was persistence and recognizing that building new habits takes time. Reason 4. The try-too-hard cycle can make self-discipline harder. The try-too-hard cycle is another significant barrier to self-discipline. It goes like this. You decide to change your life, try to do everything at once, burn out, give up, do nothing for a while, get bored and frustrated, and then start the cycle over again. I've been there countless times. When I decided to get in better shape, I'd dive into the most intense workout plans, only to burn out within a week and not work out for months. This cycle isn't limited to fitness. I experienced it with job applications, trying to eat healthily, and many other goals. What I learned was that trying to change too much at once is a recipe for failure and self-destruction. Instead, I began focusing on small, incremental changes. Procrastination is a related issue. It often involves spending too much time planning and perfecting your approach rather than taking action. I spent years reading about the benefits of meditation without ever actually meditating. The key is to start small and build momentum. Once I finally started meditating for just a few minutes each day, I quickly saw the benefits and was able to build on that foundation. How to make self-discipline easier. Now comes the fun part. I'm excited to share 5 methods that have dramatically made self-discipline easier for me. My life has improved significantly since I started using these techniques, touching on every aspect from health and relationships to my career and overall well-being. Let's dive in. Method 1. Be as specific as possible with your goals. One of the biggest changes that improved my self-discipline was forming clear, specific goals. I used to have broad, vague goals like, I want to start meditating, I want to take my filmmaking to another level, or tomorrow I swear I'm going to create my YouTube channel. When it came time to meditate and work on my goals, I'd get overwhelmed and give up. After years of this frustrating pattern, I decided to try something different. I began writing down super specific goals in my to-do list, such as, I will meditate for 5 minutes every day without distractions. Suddenly, I found self-discipline wasn't as difficult. Being specific helped me plan exactly how to accomplish my goals. When I started making a to-do list each day, it helped me with my discipline. So I knew these were the tasks I had to complete no matter what. Plus, it turned out some of my broad, vague goals were things I didn't even want to do. They seemed great in theory, but once I detailed the steps, I realized they didn't fit my interests. Focusing on specific goals I truly wanted to achieve made it easier to stay disciplined and freed up my mental space for what really mattered. Method 2. Don't have an all-or-nothing mentality. In the past, I had an all-or-nothing mentality when pursuing goals. I either achieved my goal or felt like a failure. This approach led to discouragement whenever I fell short of a big final goal. For example, during a 2-year period of job hunting, I'd get demoralized when I didn't get an offer, which often deterred me from applying to jobs for weeks. But when I landed the job, I was not disciplined enough. I began to realize my life was getting harder day by day. There was a time when I started good habits and hobbies, but stayed within my comfort zone. When life became difficult, especially when I worked shifts in remote areas, I struggled to stay consistent because I lacked discipline. This inconsistency made things worse during tough times. I realized I needed a strategy to maintain my habits and discipline even when life got hard. Over the last 2 years, I focused on building a strong foundation for discipline. I started giving myself credit for small achievements. This shift in mindset made me more disciplined and persistent in my job search. I approached the process with more enthusiasm and confidence. So you see, celebrating small wins kept me motivated and moving forward. Implementing these strategies helped me build and maintain discipline, aligning my daily habits with my long-term goals. Now I can stay disciplined even when life gets tough, and I'm better prepared to handle challenges as they come. Although I wouldn't say it's my dream job, at least I am now self-disciplined. Celebrating small wins kept me motivated and moving forward. Implementing these strategies helped me build and maintain discipline, aligning my daily habits with my long-term goals. I believe that if I keep going at the same pace, one day I will achieve my biggest goal. Now I can stay disciplined even when life gets tough, and I'm better prepared to handle challenges as they come. Method 3. Start small and take advantage of the spillover effect. The spillover effect refers to the idea that progress in one area, even if small, can lead to significant breakthroughs in other parts of your life. This was exactly my experience when I turned my life around. After school, I fell into a bad slump, spending all day playing games, watching YouTube and Netflix, eating junk food, and doing nothing productive. Then one summer, I made a small change. I decided to learn about filmmaking and cinematography each day. At first, it was just a way to fill the time, but soon it became a passion. As I immersed myself in cinematography, I began to develop a routine. This routine then led me to explore other interests, like calisthenics. I started with simple bodyweight exercises and gradually built up my strength and endurance. The discipline I cultivated through my daily cinematography practice spilled over into my calisthenics workouts. I found that as I became more disciplined in one area, it became easier to apply that discipline to other areas of my life. Learning about filmmaking and practicing calisthenics had a transformative effect on my overall well-being. The physical activity improved my health, boosted my energy levels, and increased my confidence. The creative process of filmmaking sharpened my focus, ignited my passion, and provided a sense of accomplishment. As I became healthier and more confident, my social skills improved, and I found myself more engaged and productive in other aspects of my life. Method 4. Align the interests of your present self and future self. Earlier, I mentioned how self-discipline is challenging due to present bias, where our present self prioritizes immediate rewards over long-term benefits for our future self. But what if you could align the interests of your present self and future self? This alignment has been a game changer for me. Aligning the interests of your present self and future self is a powerful strategy to enhance self-discipline. Here's how you can make this alignment work for you. Prioritize enjoyable goals. Choose goals that your present self enjoys or can learn to enjoy. For instance, if you love dancing, take dance classes instead of forcing yourself to run if you hate it. Personally, I found that incorporating hobbies like filmmaking and calisthenics made it easier to stay disciplined because I genuinely enjoyed these activities. This enjoyment helped me stay consistent and committed. Do the less enjoyable, most important tasks first thing in the morning. Tackle the most important and complex tasks first, when your energy and focus are at their peak. This way, you get the critical tasks out of the way early, leaving the rest of the day for less urgent or more enjoyable activities. Think of it like eating your vegetables before dessert. For example, I make it a point to complete my work-related tasks in the morning, ensuring that I meet deadlines and make significant progress on my projects. Later in the day, I reward myself with activities I enjoy. Structure your day by priority and complexity. Organize your day in a way that balances importance and enjoyment. Start with important complex tasks, then move to important less complex ones, followed by enjoyable important tasks, and finally enjoyable less important tasks. This method helps maintain productivity while ensuring you stay motivated. Here's a rough outline. Important complex tasks. These are your top priorities that require significant effort and concentration. By tackling them first, you ensure they get done when you're most alert. Important less complex tasks. These tasks are still crucial but easier to accomplish. They're perfect for when you need a break from the intense focus required by complex tasks. Enjoyable important tasks. These tasks are both significant and enjoyable. They help you stay engaged and make progress towards your goals. Enjoyable not important tasks. These tasks are fun and help you unwind. They're great for maintaining a balance between productivity and relaxation. Relaxation. End your day with activities that help you relax and recharge, ensuring you're ready for the next day. When you structure your day in this way, you can ensure that you're addressing your priorities effectively while also making time for enjoyment and relaxation. This balance not only keeps you productive, but also prevents burnout, making it easier to maintain self discipline over the long term. Method 5. Forgive yourself when things don't go perfectly. When self discipline was more difficult for me, I felt horrible whenever things didn't go as planned. Missing a workout led to regret, procrastinating on a school deadline led to guilt, and not getting a job after applying led to shame. These negative emotions often make me want to give up. Over time, I learned that failure is inevitable. No matter how hard you try, things won't always go perfectly. The most important thing is to forgive yourself and keep moving forward. While I haven't eliminated negative emotions entirely, I've gotten better at moving past them quicker. Remember, don't put pressure on yourself to be perfect. Everyone slips up occasionally. The key is to forgive yourself and not give up for good. Ultimately, self discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about making progress, however small, every day. By understanding your triggers, setting realistic goals, and celebrating your achievements, you can make self discipline a part of your daily life. And trust me, once you start seeing the results, you'll realize that becoming disciplined is easier than you ever imagined. Easy peasy, right? And with that said, making self discipline easier involves setting specific goals, avoiding an all or nothing mentality, starting small, aligning the interests of your present and future self, and forgiving yourself when things don't go perfectly. When you implement these methods, you can build self discipline that improves every aspect of your life, from your health and relationships to your career and overall happiness. What is the biggest hurdle you face, and how will you overcome it starting today? Let us know in the comments below, and if you think a friend should watch this for motivation, don't forget to share it with them. See you in the next one.